The door at last opened, Albert de Mercer entered first, and I began to hope my fears were vain, when, after him, another young man advanced, and the Count exclaimed, "Ah, here is the Baron Franz d'Epinay." I summoned all my strength and courage to my support. Perhaps I turned pale and trembled, but certainly I smiled, and 5 minutes after I left, without having heard one word that had passed. Poor Maximilian! Murmured Valentine. Valentine, the time has arrived when you must answer me. And remember, my life depends on your answer. What do you intend doing? Valentine held down her head, she was overwhelmed. Listen, said Morel, it is not the first time you have contemplated our present position, which is a serious and urgent one. I do not think it is a moment to give way to useless sorrow. Leave that for those who like to suffer at their leisure and indulge their grief in secret. There are such in the world, and God will doubtless reward them in heaven for their resignation on earth. But those who mean to contend must not lose one precious moment, but must return immediately the blow which fortune strikes. Do you intend to struggle against our ill fortune? Tell me, Valentine, for it is that I came to know. Valentine trembled, and looked at him with amazement. The idea of resisting her father, her grandmother, and all the family, had never occurred to her. What do you say, Maximilian? Asked Valentine. What do you mean by a struggle? Oh, it would be a sacrilege. What? I resist my father's order, and my dying grandmother's wish? Impossible. Morel started. You are too noble not to understand me, and you understand me so well that you already yield, dear Maximilian. No, no, I shall need all my strength to struggle with myself and support my grief in secret, as you say. But to grieve my father, to disturb my grandmother's last moments, never. You are right, said Morel, calmly. In what a tone you speak! Cried Valentine. I speak as one who admires you, mademoiselle. Mademoiselle, cried Valentine, mademoiselle. Oh, selfish man, he sees me in despair, and pretends he cannot understand me. You mistake, I understand you perfectly. you will not oppose MV4, you will not displease the Marchioness, and tomorrow you will sign the contract which will bind you to your husband. But, mon Dieu, tell me, how can I do otherwise? Do not appeal to me, mademoiselle, I shall be a bad judge in such a case, my selfishness will blind me, replied Morel, whose low voice and clenched hands announced his growing desperation. What would you have proposed, Maximilian, had you found me willing to accede? It is not for me to say. You are wrong, you must advise me what to do. Do you seriously ask my advice, Valentine? Certainly, dear Maximilian, for if it is good, I will follow it, you know my devotion to you. Valentine, said Morel pushing aside a loose plank, give me your hand in token of forgiveness of my anger, my senses are confused, and during the last hour the most extravagant thoughts have passed through my brain. Oh, if you refuse my advice. What do you advise? Said Valentine, raising her eyes to heaven and sighing. I am free, replied Maximilian, and rich enough to support you. I swear to make you my lawful wife before my lips even shall have approached your forehead. You make me tremble, said the young girl. Follow me, said Morel, I will take you to my sister, who is worthy also to be yours. We will embark for Algiers, for England, for America, or, if you prefer it, retire to the country and only return to Paris when our friends have reconciled your family. Valentine shook her head. I feared it, Maximilian, said she, it is the counsel of a madman, and I should be more mad than you, did I not stop you at once with the word impossible, impossible. You will then submit to what fate decrees for you without even attempting to contend with it? Said Morel sorrowfully. Yes, if I die. Well, Valentine, resumed Maximilian, I can only say again that you are right. Truly, it is I who am mad, and you prove to me that passion blinds the most well-meaning. I appreciate your calm reasoning. It is then understood that tomorrow you will be irrevocably promised to M. Franz Debenay, not only by that theatrical formality invented to heighten the effect of a comedy called the signature of the contract, but your own will? Again you drive me to despair, Maximilian, said Valentine, again you plunge the dagger into the wound. What would you do, tell me, if your sister listened to such a proposition? Mademoiselle, replied Morel with a bitter smile. I am selfish, you have already said so, and as a selfish man I think not of what others would do in my situation, but of what I intend doing myself. I think only that I have known you not a whole year. From the day I first saw you, all my hopes of happiness have been in securing your affection. One day you acknowledged that you loved me, and since that day my hope of future happiness has rested on obtaining you, for to gain you would be life to me. Now, I think no more, I say only that fortune has turned against me, I had thought to gain heaven, and now I have lost it. It is an everyday occurrence for a gambler to lose not only what he possesses but also what he has not. Morel pronounced these words with perfect calmness. Valentine looked at him a moment with her large, scrutinizing eyes, endeavoring not to let Morel discover the grief which struggled in her heart.